Hey everybody, this is Jay Ray. I ask you to let me know what you think in the comments below about that intro. I was trying something a little bit different. I bought this radio off Amazon. It's one of the least expensive Apple CarPlay Android Auto radios that I could find. Inside this box, let's see what we're going to find here. We've got a little user manual there on top. It comes with a couple cables, and it's got some RCAs. It's got some backup camera right here. Let's go ahead and pull out the rest of it. So it's got a remote control. Comes with a couple brackets for mounting it. And it also comes with a wiring harness for the power and the speaker cables. Come with a little microphone for installing for doing the Bluetooth calls. And of course, the radio is down inside here. And all this stuff coming out looks like my cat approves. Hey guys, I cannot lie, I'm pretty excited about this. I'm going to be taking out this factory head unit finally in this 20-year-old truck. So this Rimoody is my remedy. I guess it's my remedy for having a factory head unit installed in my truck for 20 years. This thing, it has USB-C for charging your phones quickly. It's got USB-A for using Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's also got some buttons here for volume and things like that. And this thing is a touchscreen, 9-inch. It's a shallow single DIN. Also on the back, it's got rear camera input, an aux video input, video output if you want to use another separate monitor for something, a subwoofer output. I'm kind of excited about that. And it's got your left and right output here, in case you want to run an amplifier for your other speakers, and your antenna input. It's got this D-bus connection here, but it did not come with the connector to connect to that. So I'm going to get started by taking this old radio out. My truck is a little bit different than a lot of people's trucks. Supposed to have a screw in right here. My truck never had that since I bought the truck, so pretty easy to start. Just take everything out of this little cubby, set that to the side, and then I should just pull right off. You gotta undo these connectors for the air conditioner, and this one here for your switch for your airbag. They just unclip and unplug pretty simply. And then you got 4 screws on the radio to pull out to get this one out, and then unplug the connector on the back of it. Since I'm recording this, it's kind of hard to do this work one-handed, so I'll update you here in a minute. Got the old factory radio out. Here it is in a side-by-side comparison. You can tell the new one is a lot more shallow in depth than the old radio. And then this has the touchscreen, and this one has lots of buttons, a CD player that doesn't work, and it's got a 2-band graphic equalizer and a fader right here. And this is your volume knob, and it also turns power on and off. You got your seek buttons and all that for tuning, and forward and rewind for the CD player when it used to work. But it hasn't worked since I've owned the truck, so I'm pretty excited to have this. I normally just listen to music through Bluetooth anyway. What I've been doing is using this adapter. It's a Scosh. It takes a Bluetooth connection and then turns it to a FM signal, so that you can then use an FM signal on your radio to hear songs from your phone, Spotify, whatever. So yeah, you can see the wiring back here is kind of a mess. Got a lot of these connectors on it because I did hook up the amplifier, which is under the back seat, and so you can see it there, and got 2 subwoofers back there. So in order to make that work with the factory head unit, I had to hook up this line out converter, which I should be able to get rid of this line out converter now and just use the RCA cable, because this as a subwoofer output on the new radio. Alright guys, so I got this radio installed. There's a couple things that I want to show you. It did come with a microphone. I've just got it sitting right here for now. But in order to mount this, I ended up buying a single DIN mount kit. And let me show you on the back of here what I end up having to do. Let me so if I end up, I'll take this stuff out so I don't drop it, but I'll pull this off. So, I ended up using that single DIN mount kit and the 2 brackets that came with the radio, and basically just sandwiching them up against this faceplate, you know, this surround fascia here, whatever you want to call it, and that's working pretty well. So and this just snaps back in place, but you probably want to see it turned on. Let me get this put back together real quick and I'll turn the radio on for you. So it's not the fastest radio in the world, but when you turn the key on, I'm just turning to accessory right here. It takes a few seconds. It says welcome, and then this is the logo that it comes with. I did not find a way to change that logo. You can change the background if you go to settings and wallpaper. Then it's got, you know, a couple options that you can choose from. And then I just put on that one. Kind of like the way it looks. So you can change the time here and the date, which I've already changed the date and the time. Hit OK once you're done. You can select which language that you want it to be in. Of course, the wallpaper does have steering wheel control possibility that you can set up. I don't have steering wheel control in my truck, so I didn't mess with this. So on the general settings, I'm not really sure what this means, this output NTSC or PAL, but I've heard that you just want to leave it on NTSC. And the FM frequency setting is on China right now. You can change it to different countries, but I've been told that you probably just want to leave it on China. And the FM frequencies have been working pretty well for me, so I haven't messed with that. BG music setting, on or off. I'm not sure what that is, so I just left it on. The charge on or off just looks like it just shows the percentage that your phone's charged up here. So I'll just leave it off because I don't need to see that up there. You got your bright setting. You can look at your brightness, contrast, saturation, and the hue there. Go back. You can adjust them by sliding them, you know, but just play with that to get to where you want. Okay, well, we can go back to it here. So, audio settings, it's got the equalizer on there if you click on this, or if you go back to the home, you can just hit this little icon and this will bring up the EQ. So it's got a pretty nice graphic equalizer on here. Disappears after a few seconds if you don't mess with it, but you can adjust, you know, individual frequencies on here. You might have to play with this a little bit to get it set up exactly how you want it, or it's got some presets that you can use as well. So if you hit reset, then it'll just turn this user to a flat line. So, and if you make some adjustments, then you're going to want to hit save in order to save those adjustments. Also got this sound button, and this is your balance fader, so you can have it. Let me get back to it. So on your balance fader, you can adjust this to which speaker you want to be playing the loudest. I'm just keeping it in the center, because that's what works. You get loud on or off, and then with your loud on, you can adjust that bass or treble. So it does have, also on that sound part, you can choose between the options as well. User preset or one of these other classic rock, pop, and so on. So this is how I've currently got it set up. But if you go home, you got this screen right here. Shows your Bluetooth. You can play your Bluetooth music, or you got the radio playing, or music that's internal to the radio. This movie, photo, and explorer down here is if you have a USB drive hooked up, then you can use those. But I don't have a USB drive hooked up, so we can go to the apps, and these are the apps that come with the radio. So that's the music that's on the radio, your Bluetooth, radio, movie, photo, and explorer. Again, those are if you have a USB drive hooked up, which I don't. The aux, though, I've got it hooked up to front camera on my truck. That seems to work pretty good. Go back home. I've also got the backup camera hooked up to where if you turn the truck on, put it in reverse, the backup camera will come on. I guess I can do that for you real quick. It turns everything off because I cycled the key from auxiliary to on. So now we got the radio coming up. I'm going to put it in reverse, and it shows the backup camera when you put it in reverse. Back to park, it goes off. And then it defaults back to the radio, so that's the last thing that was playing on here. Now you can scan for radio stations here, and if you find one that you like, then all you have to do is hold the area over here, and it sets that on your channel. So I know I want to listen to 96.3. It comes with 3 different FM presets that you can have on here. I like this one, so I'll get that set up here on my preset. Go back home. Also show you got the CML play, which is your Android mirroring, Android Auto, iPhone mirroring, or Apple CarPlay. I'm still trying to figure out the iPhone mirroring. I haven't been able to accomplish that yet, but Apple CarPlay works pretty well if you just plug it in. And I'll show you that. You know, it's kind of hard. It's a lot slower whenever your phone is hooked up and you're recording on your phone, which I do all my videos on my phone right now. So, but it does work with Apple CarPlay. If I hit that now, it says please connect your phone. So we can do that. And then it says connecting in for a minute whenever you connect your phone. This is wired Apple CarPlay, and it works pretty well. I usually just listen to music on Spotify, but it's got the other options here. You can check your messages, phone calls. You can make phone calls, check and respond to messages through voice command. It's being really slow right now, not wanting to move between apps, but when my phone is not recording, it moves pretty seamlessly. It does pretty well. So I'll try to give you guys an update later on when I can get another way to record this and show you how this works a little bit better. But then if you hit the home button, so when you hit that home button, you come back to this main screen. But I have to say, overall, I'm pretty happy with this. Got a 9-inch screen. It's a touch screen. Got the Apple CarPlay. I'm able to use Bluetooth, radio, and I got a front camera and a rear camera. And that's really all I was looking for in this. And this radio only cost $73 on Amazon at the time that I recorded this. So I'm pretty happy so far. Like I said, I'll have to give you a review in a couple months and see how it's lasting. But the sound quality on this is pretty decent, but you have to play with the equalizer to get it to sound the way you want it to. And sometimes, if you just mess with the equalizer, you don't hit save, like I said, then it's not going to keep your settings on there. So next time you turn the radio off and back on, it's going to sound different than what you had. So remember, if you have this radio, change the EQ settings. Make sure you hit save. Alright, I think that's all I got for this radio. Actually, there's one more thing. What I was saying is this radio did come with a backup camera. I had the additional camera that I ended up putting on the front. Part of the problem, though, is my truck is so long that the cable for the backup camera that it came with in runs right about here where this airbag is. I couldn't make it reach all the way to the back, so I had to get an extension to make it reach, and I've just got it mounted right here. And it does pretty good. You know, I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. So it's got LEDs around it, so at nighttime it'll help, but it also got the lights that I've got for my license plate as well. So it's pretty bright when I'm backing up. And then on the front, I'll show you where I mounted that camera. I got it mounted right here in the bumper. So this is the camera that I've had. I had it for several years, and then when I finally got this radio, it's like, well, it says it has an auxiliary camera input, so I'll go ahead and put it there, see if I can have a front and back camera, and it's working pretty well. I like it. I'm happy with it so far. One more shot of it before I end the video. So what I was saying was, this camera did